Jimmy and the Phantom. This story is about a guy I know. He wishes to remain anonymous, so I'll be referring to him as Jimmy. Jimmy was cynical and something of an oddball, but also a very talented musician. He would often come and go, much like an old tomcat on the prowl. But we were great friends and had much in common. Our birthdays even fell into the same zodiac sign, Gemini, like brothers of different mothers. It was a long, hot day. It had been weeks since we'd had any rain. The drought was so bad that the grass all throughout town was yellow, dry, and dead. It crackled and crunched when walked upon, similar to that of dried leaves. Oh, do I rue the dog days of summer. It was so hot that year, most of us stayed indoors in the air conditioner most of the day. Jimmy had waited until nightfall to come on over to chill at my place a while. We hung out and played some NES classic video games on a new emulator I just bought. While awaiting his turn, he had been on his phone texting his girlfriend and likely making plans to stay with her for the weekend. He seemed to really like her and told me in his confidence that this one might be the one. He was a lucky guy, as his girlfriend was keen and had a great sense of humor, a good taste in music, and of course was dangerously attractive. Her fire-red hair was sleek and vibrant like the evening sun blazing slowly past the horizon, and eyes as dark as night. A real keeper for sure. As the evening went on, we grew bored of the 8-bit video games and decided to go out and pick up a pack of smokes, some beers, and a few munchie snacks from the 7-Eleven down the road. I needed to lock up the place before leaving, so in the meantime, Jimmy went out to the garage to go wait by the car and have a cigarette. While I was locking the back door, I couldn't help but notice a paranoid feeling like someone was just glaring at me. Little did I know that only seconds before, Jimmy had been experiencing a similar feeling. A feeling like he was not alone. I looked around and couldn't see anything, but the feeling that I was being watched was overwhelmingly unmistakable. I dismissed it, locked the door, and went on. Before I could get to the end of the hallway, however, I heard some commotion in the garage. It sounded like boxes falling. When Jimmy came crashing through the door, I was surprised to see him looking so disheveled. With his hand over his heart, he began, "Dude, there's someone in your car. Someone or something. I think I saw a ghost or a spirit. I don't know." He paused. I've known Jimmy a long time, and I knew that he was speaking the truth, as he doesn't make things up. I listened as he explained what happened, holding my tongue, not mentioning the feeling I had just had while locking the door. I could feel goosebumps form on my arms and a tingle in my scalp. Instinctively, I knew there was more going on in this space than meets the eye. I could see Jimmy's chest rise and fall through his heavily worn Kurt Cobain t-shirt. His jagged breathing made it hard to understand the words his mouth were trying to speak. I asked him to slow down, take a deep breath, and gather his thoughts for a moment. But Jimmy said, "Just come on out. You gotta see this. Come on, hurry." As we both approached the door that led out to the garage, I followed him, curious and perplexed by what he was saying. He pointed to the driver's seat. Now, for this next part, for simplicity's sake, I will continue narrating from Jimmy's point of view. I was sitting right there on the passenger side, not really thinking about anything, kind of meditating really. Just feeling really relaxed and peaceful. I took a drag off my smoke. As I was exhaling, I felt like I was not alone. The radio station went static like I was losing signal. I reached over to tune the station setting on the FM radio when I felt something brush against my arm. It felt like someone had blown on my arm hairs or something. It made me take notice and slink over next to the car door. I was almost sure I saw a shadow in the corner of my eye. When the smoke cleared, that's when I knew that what I was feeling was real, not my imagination playing tricks on me. What I saw was like a digital outline, shaped like a man, but like pixels on a TV screen. They were purple and green and bright electric blue, very similar to the twinkling of LED lights and TV static. I started to wonder if I was even actually awake or dreaming. I wiped the sweat from my brow and decided I would be strong. I would face this phantom and try to speak to it. I quickly summoned as much courage up as I could, ready to be bold and show this intruder that I was not scared. Through trembling lips, with nervous tears forming in the corners of my eyes, I managed to mutter, I can see you." My heart was pounding so hard that I could almost hear my pulse ringing in my ears. To my shock and horror, this electrical entity moved closer and reached out, forming a hand, then a finger, which extended out and touched me right in the middle of my head. I tried to hold my composure, but was honestly freaking out inside. Without looking away, at minute hand clock speed, I slowly reached for the handle to the car door and opened it with my right hand. Stumbled out of the car, scrambled to my feet, and I could see the lights fade and dim, lighting up the inside of the garage. And then, just like that, they were gone. Like a flash, just gone. There was nothing left but a faint electrical charge in the air. As Jimmy was telling me all this, I could feel the electrical sensation in the air he was describing. I could sense that something had indeed happened that truly frightened my friend. Something he could not wrap his head around or even fully understand. I could tell that he was struggling to accept what had just happened, as he is not a believer of any sort of ghosts or anything like that. Well, until now. We sat there in the car for a few moments, and I told him how I had felt like someone was looking at me earlier while this had been happening. We agreed that this was nothing short of a weird experience, one that we would not soon forget.